Hey guys, sorry that I missed Sunday, Update Sunday. We're gonna make this one-time thing and try to do Update Tuesday, but we'll try not to do that again. We just got so busy. Last week was crazy, and yesterday was crazy. Everything's been crazy, but it's been awesome, and we're excited to tell you what God did with our week last week. So,
Monday was awesome because it really showed us how we're pretty irrelevant to what God is able to do. He doesn't need us to be moving and to be working, but He chooses to use us. So it was really cool because we got to share the gospel with two people that we didn't expect to be sharing with. You know, we were talking to one girl, and her roommate approached us. And then we started talking to her, and the conversation just flowed really well. We've been using survey questions to ask students about their religious background and have conversations with them. And a lot of times we get to the gospel, but this conversation was different in that it just flowed really naturally. God was really faithful in just kind of orchestrating that so that would happen, and all we had to do was really just be faithful in conversations and share where we felt led. And then that same day, we were able to share with the guy at a bus stop. Did we expect to share the gospel at a bus stop? No. Did we do what we felt the Spirit leading us to do? Yes. So that was really great because, he was next to us and we talked about the bus schedule, and from there, eventually got to share with him the reason that we were here and what we were doing, and he asked us questions, and able to engage him in conversation with that. So that was awesome, just to be able to experience God's hand really moving and bringing people to us, and demonstrating to us how good He is, and that it doesn't depend on our plans and it doesn't depend on our efforts, but it's God that's ultimately working here in Germany.
Yeah. Yeah, that was so cool and awesome to watch God work just right before us and just see His glory in that way. The Tuesday through Friday, we kind of had a similar schedule. We just went out to the university, and I guess we haven't really told you guys, our university, it takes about 40 minutes to get there, traveling bus, train, then getting to the Hauptbahnhof which is the main train station in Mainz, and then going from there to taking a bus to the university. So all in all, it takes about 40 minutes. So that's cool. I mean, we haven't explained that to you. But it is about 40 minutes away through that kind of transportation. But yeah, Tuesday through Friday, it was, I mean, I don't want to lie about everything. I don't, oh my gosh, I don't want to say that it's all, rainbows and butterflies and daisies all the time, because it's not. Being on the field is hard. It's hard because you're away from what you've known. And not that I could ever complain about being in Germany, because I'm not going to lie when I say this is probably the most beautiful place I've ever been. I love it here. I truly, truly do. And I love that God has brought me here. But being away from your family and just feeling homesick, it happens. It happens. And last week was kind of that week for me. A week of feeling homesick, but also being really tired. Kind of just experience the exhaustion of going and doing what we're supposed to be doing. And we love what we do, but last week was kind of a week of us being tired. And so I didn't want to hide that, but I wanted to tell you that it's not always just great, Monday was wonderful, and we were super just blessed to be a part of that and just watch God work in front of us, because it literally had nothing to do with us. And we were completely irrelevant to it. But then on Tuesday and Wednesday, we were just tired, and it seemed like it just wasn't happening as frequent. Like we just didn't like have this big, like, oh my gosh, and so that was cool though. Like, I think that was a learning experience of, like, it's not always going to be like this. Like, it's not going to be every day like, oh wow, like, ministry's hard. And it's hard to talk to people. It's hard to just go up and have a conversation with a random stranger you've never even met before. And that's basically the whole battle. After that, you can kind of like get your balance and go from there. But getting the courage to like walk up to someone and say hi, and just start a conversation is hard. And so, yeah, so that was kind of our week. We kind of had this really, really high on Monday, and then it was kind of like, but I think a lot of that came from us being tired, and but it was cool at the end of the week to kind of reflect back on, like, look what God showed us on Monday and what he still did this week. But none of that had anything to do with us. Like, we're irrelevant to this entire thing. And it was just cool to experience that and to just watch God work and before our eyes. And we know that God is working still in the lives that people we've already met. And he's working in the lives of people that we haven't met yet. We know that he is, but it was cool to like just see it in front of us and experience that, like, really kind of like, oh, awesome. And then it was like, oh, but yeah, it was cool. We have had the opportunity to share the gospel quite a few times. And so, I mean, last week we shared pretty much nearly every person that we talked to. So, our little survey questions, we sometimes use them and sometimes we just kind of go with it. But yeah, the survey questions are you
how interested are you in exploring spiritual things in university?
And then what would you, it's a little deep, but what would you say is the purpose of life? And usually they're like, I don't know how to answer that, and that's like, it's okay, but a lot of them do answer it, what they think is the purpose of life. And then the last one is, do you want to hear the answer to my answer to the above question? And so that's how we get to share the gospel. It's very direct and it's very straightforward. So they kind of know, like, whenever we go up to someone, we introduce ourselves and tell them what we're doing here, and so it's very straightforward. We're not like hiding anything or like waiting till the last minute to be like, oh, gotcha, this is what, but I like that because it's cool. It's cool to just be straightforward about what you're doing, and pretty much every conversation we've been straightforward. It's cool to see how people have been open to like listening and asking questions. As like when we're saying, do you want to hear our answer to the above question? They're like, yeah. And so they're interested in hearing that. And so that's cool. I feel like God is working in them. And so, yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, and it's good. It's good work. It's fun and it's good work, and just really amazed that God has brought me here to do this summer. So, yeah, and then on Saturday this week, our family that we've been staying with on Thursday, they left for the States. They're an American family, and they left to go visit their kids there. And so, yeah, so we've been alone since Thursday. And so on Saturday, I was really proud of us because we went out down to downtown Wiesbaden, and we stayed out all day long. We got home at about 10-ish. And so I was really proud of us because I felt like this was our home. I felt like it was easy for us to be like, oh, I know where I'm going with this. Like, it wasn't even like a question of like this, but, or, you know, is it this bus stop or this one or this street or this one? But I felt like I know exactly where I'm going. And so that was cool. I love that we've been here. We're here for an amount of time that we can be familiar with, you know, with what we're doing and where we're going, and familiar with the city. And so, yeah, that was really cool. And so the Bagwells left. That's the family that we're staying with. And this week, Nick and his family are out of town. They went to
Austria.
Yeah. So that's awesome. But now we're like super alone. I mean, we have like church families at the church that we're interning at that we can always call, but just to let you know, I might pray for this house because Casey tends to break things and I tend to throw food everywhere. So that's an inside joke. I might tell you later.
We think it's funny.
Yeah, so just pray for the Bagwells and pray for the Howards that they will. Are you in the sun?
Yeah, it's fine.
That they will have a great time, and that God will just keep them safe while they're traveling. Yeah, and then just one last thing, we wanted to share our experience of yesterday. Literally was probably one of the most amazing days of my entire life. I can't explain to you how amazing this place is. We got to travel down the Rhine River, and then stopped in a little town called St. Goar, and then hike our way up a mountain. We ate lunch and then hiked our way up a mountain and explored a castle. That was it was so insane and so cool. And Casey and I were like, so we should just call Brenda and say that we're probably not getting on our flight home.
That's okay.
Yeah, I had already fallen in love with Germany, but after that I was like, not coming home. I shared some pictures. That doesn't do it justice because everyone should come and experience what we did. It was really great, and yeah, I'm just like so amazed that God has brought us here, that we get to do ministry, but also get to see the beauty of the world He has made, because it is beautiful. And so, yeah, but yeah, yesterday was great, and this week will be great, but last week was wonderful, and God is really moving here, and it's just exciting to be a part of that. We know that it's not about us or anything that we could ever do, but it's all about God's power and the way that He moves. So yeah, we just wanted to update you. I'm sorry that these videos keep getting longer, but I'm thankful that you watch them. I'm thankful that you are at home praying for us. We're not done yet. We have 2.5 more weeks here, and we're sad that it's only 2.5 more weeks. We wish it was longer, because we seriously work with the best people ever, and yeah, just it's just cool to be here. We miss you guys, and we're thankful for you praying for us there. You're a part of something really big that God is doing, and that's really, really cool. And so we just wanted to update you and tell you all of the awesome things that God is doing, and we'll catch you next week. So bye.